Light exposes, but doesn't exploit. Got another really embarrassing story to tell you. When I was in high school, I went home after church. My parents ran outside to jump in the car and go pick out some food for us. And I used that time to pull up porn on my dad's computer. And as I pulled it up, I was so pulled into it that I left it open. Didn't minimize it, didn't clear the history, left the website open. And later I was upstairs watching TV. My parents come home. My dad tells me to come downstairs to the garage where his office was. And I was just wondering, I had no idea why he was calling me down there at all. I come around the corner, look inside the office on the computer, and the website was still open. And he asked me to explain myself. I couldn't explain myself. And then he took it a step further and he asked me to go get my mom. And so I went upstairs, got my mom, and he had me explain to my mom what exactly I found myself doing. And I always wondered why he did that until we got to this episode of the podcast called Light, which comes out this weekend. And it's on Matthew 5, verse 14, 15, 16. And Jesus says to his disciples, "You are the light of the world." My dad was exposing me, but he wasn't exploiting me. He wasn't screaming, yelling. He didn't even do anything like, "Oh, son, okay, let's keep this between me and you. Back in my day, I had magazines, you know." He used that as an opportunity to teach me, to help me. He didn't yell at me. He didn't scream at me. He didn't exploit me. He said, "Go get your mom. This is a woman in your life that I want you to talk through the exploitation of other women with. I want you to look at this woman in your life, this woman of God, and compare that in your head to what you were doing." And love exposes at the right time, in the right way. Are you the light of the world? Being the light of the world means knowing how and when to expose, but not exploit. With your friends and your neighbors, how are you being light around them? I always think of light this way because I heard a pastor say that when you go into a dark room and you turn on light, what happens? The darkness goes under the bed and into the closet. It scurries away because light exposes. Are you being light? Jesus was the one who came and he was exposed on the cross, open for the world to see, wounds, bleeding, surging with blood, naked, left alone, crying out. He was exposed so that we could be the light of the world that exposes evil, that exposes darkness, but in a way that is gentle, in a way that is not exploitive. Christ went through that so we could be the light of the world. The light of the world was exposed so we could be the light of the world that exposes. If you want to learn more about what it means to be the light of the world, check out our new episode on Amen Podcasts, available everywhere: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Google Podcasts. It's called Light. I'll see you in the next one.
Amen.